What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the live stream. Shit.
When I say hedge funds,
Shit, I'm clapped. Ugh. All right. We're back. Shit. Whew. Woo. Jesus Christ. Hit you guys with a little ad so I can make like $1. Thank you for that. All of you guys that are tuning in, the futures are green. The markets, like the State of the Union address, just a little bit, but we have a lot to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys are ready, and I hope you are ready for a very wild day tomorrow with AMC stock. Go get him, Biden. Yeah, I got a little lost in time there. I was watching young Biden. They were booing. They were doing all kinds of things. It was very exciting. So I had to watch it. And I'm like, damn, it's 10:10. I need to go live. How are we doing? Everything is looking a little bit green. A little green out there. And Putin was wrong. Biden plans to tell the nation defiant Zelensky says we fight. Interesting. And that just concluded. Nothing specific around oil. Nothing that will really affect the markets directly all too much. So, if you are a bull, that's a great thing. What is going on? Michael, Paul, Jack, Chris, Win Lambo, Jack Wolf, Sandy Smith, Cheese Chaser, White, Rob, Stephanie, Dan the Man. Oh, we're in here. We came to play today. And Tesla was not mentioned. Sad. Very, very sad. Biden concludes State of the Union saying, God bless our troops. Go get him. I gotta retweet that. Win Lambo. Julie, we are here. We came to play. Let me log into Weeble real quick. Who thinks young Biden actually did a good job? Oh, my shit is way different. What are they doing? What are they doing to me right now? Why is everything so different? Everything's so different. We got it. Okay, Weeble. We got it. What a bunk earnings reaction. Bunk. Adam Aaron, sure excited about his popcorn business. Yeah, I think there's a lot to be excited about. I took a lot of notes. And some of the biggest things that he said was that the domestic box office they expect will be double what it was in 2021. That was big. And you didn't see a reaction from the algorithms off of that. So I think there's a lot of good things that really didn't come to light. because it happened so late. By the time Adam Aarons started to actually get into AMC and what they expect the business to do in the next year and ahead into the future, that was like 5:30. So a lot of the algorithms had kind of shut off to a certain extent. They weren't really reacting to a lot of bullish things that were said. So it's gonna be pretty interesting. The credit card too. That's a big thing. The AMC branded credit card. They want to get that done. They want to actually get that done. But it sounded very positive. It was very positive. I mean, we kind of already know the numbers about $156 million in free positive EBITDA, or $59 million in positive EBITDA. So that was really good. Couple other things were good too, but and then they talked a lot about crypto. A lot about crypto. MSNBC cut my internet. The F is so blatant. I swear Russia cyber attacks me sometimes. Listen, but the earnings sound positive. Yeah, you kind of hear things. It's good. It's good. It's good. Yeah. Typically after earnings we do rally. If we zoom this in back here, we actually seen, what day was earnings on? March 10th. The 11th, we were only up 4%, and then we rallied almost 9%, and then a 25% gain after that. And then we kind of continued that momentum for a while back here. That was early 2020 in March. Same thing over here. Very obvious. About $8 into 70. 72 was the close of that day, or the high of that day. 95%. And then back here, positive 2. And this last one was not so positive. That was on the 8th. The 9th was a 11% drop. And then, granted, we did fall, and then we kind of rallied back up, and then we fell. Nancy was looking at her insider trading for tomorrow. Nancy, oh, man. She was funny. She was funny to watch her. There we go, Michael. If you know, you know. You're funny, Shane. Now look at it. Training for tomorrow. Slap the like button for TCI. Yeah, slap the like button. Punch it if you want to. I mean, if you want to get aggressive with it, just slap your computer or throw your phone against the wall, and that should hit the like button and the subscribe. But I missed the speech. Can you sum it up? Basically it's kind of about rallying the nation. He talked about Ukraine, Russia. Nothing too crazy, that Russia is paying a price for what they've done, which, I mean, you can see that they've paid a big price. So they talked about that. He talked about cancer, getting that down in the next, what do you say, 25 years by 50% or something. In gun violence, A lot of things like that, kind of rallying the nation. And if he did not have an earpiece in, he actually did good. Like, all props to him. If he didn't have an earpiece in, I'm impressed. She was very happy tonight. Yeah, she kept whispering to Kamala. She's like, dude, leave me alone. She got a neck. That girl Kamala, oh man, she got a neck on her. She be sitting back. She's like, she's buff as shit. Yeah, nothing crazy as far as, what will affect the markets. What will affect the markets is going to be good old Jerome Powell. And he is in the morning at 10 a.m. No gun violence, please. I feel that. My brother was shot and killed, so I'm against gun violence. I feel he's flirting with a madman at the moment. Basically, yeah, pretty much. I would have liked him to say the obvious. Like, Americans, don't worry about nukes. That basically they fuck us up, we fuck them up. That's what I would have liked to hear, but we didn't quite get that. Not that aggressive with it, but it's all right. It's all right. They already know. But tomorrow we do have, which I really like this, by investing.com economic calendar. They updated this. So it comes up like a volatility measure with these stars right here. So check this out for your guys' self, and make sure you have this pulled up if you're trading, if you're a degenerate gambler like me, or, most of you guys probably watching. Make sure you have this pulled up so you can see the economic events. But you could see at 9:30 in the morning, you do have the FOMC member Bullard that speaks. At 8:15 in the morning, so before we wake up, ADP non-farm employment change for February will come out, and that is a high volatility expected, basically data point. And then at 10 a.m., Fed Chair Powell testifies. And I want people to understand this. Back in November, when the Fed seen what was going on with inflation, they had made up their mind that, hey, we need to start reducing the balance sheets, get the markets ready for more rate hikes. He had come out at that testimony in November and said, if inflation continues at this rapid rate, we will have to basically end our tapering faster. And that was a kind of shock to the markets, but that's along the lines of what he's been talking about, Chair Powell, to keep the markets informed before they actually make a decision. So instead of coming out and raising rates 0.5%, if they are going to do that, Powell is going to say that tomorrow. That's the way that I look at that. Essentially. This does not happen by a law-abiding citizen. Yeah, pretty much. Bro says she got that neck. She does. Is that just me? Talk about her neck looking funky. Dude, man, she looks buff when she sits back like that. I don't know if I'm the only one that caught that, but she's probably got some guns on her. Bring out the gun show and shit. Sorry. Let's go, Brandon. Gun violence not happened by law-abiding citizens. I agree. Between Powell, CPI jobs number, and of course Russia-Ukraine markets probably remain very choppy. Yeah, very choppy. Until it's so weird, the place that we are in right now, because comparatively to like the Cold War in the 80s, sure, there was technology, but not everything was documented on a fight-to-fight basis. Now you can go on Twitter and you can see what has been happening, like every battle pretty much, right? So with that said, it's a little bit different. We're heading into a Cold War, or we are already in a Cold War, I should say, or World War III. I hope to think it's world or a Cold War. But with that said, it's a little bit different. I think the markets will have that fear on its back for a little while here. But ultimately, it comes down to the Fed. What the Fed says and does. I think that's kind of getting shrugged off by a lot of investors. Look at that. They burning shit up. These drones are putting in some work. Do you think AMC's news release earlier in February is priced in already, which reduced any notable change today after earnings? That's possible, yeah. But we got more information today. I think a lot of it had to do with how long it took for the report to come out. The report took forever to come out. Like, usually in a normal stock, you'll see that report come out either at 4 p.m. So right after the bell, the first candle, you'll get that initial reaction. Or it'll be like 15 minutes into the day. So like over here, right? Whereas AMC, they waited so long where not as many people were paying attention to it. A lot of people, they stop paying attention to the markets after 4 p.m., after regular trading is done. So I think that did have an impact to why we didn't see a bigger move, because the earnings were great. And then during the conference call, you didn't really see any big moves. So I think that played a role in it, honestly, is the timing of it. But could be wrong there. I think a lot of the move will happen tomorrow, because nothing happened in after hours. Like, nothing at all. Grain prices soaring means even higher food prices coming. Yeah, Russia exports like 30-40% of all grain, I believe. So why did Sofi pump? Sofi pumped because they gave really good guidance, and they also grew their user base by about 570,000 users. So they went from like 3 million to over 3.5 million users. And Sofi, they're really good at cross-selling. So when you acquire a user, if you're Sofi, about 60% of the time they use multiple different products. So whether it's Sofi investing, you get a car loan, you get a house loan, you start investing with them, you start trading crypto, you refinance your student loans. So that sent off a really bullish reaction. But Sofi, for the most part, was priced really bad. This chart since November has been pretty much down. But that's really why Sofi pumped, is they beat expectations. They guided about 10% higher than what the markets had projected, and grew their member base by about 500,000. Lambo win, hopefully soon. Shoot, hopefully soon. Why? Because the $1 billion was attacked by the blindside receipt, natural gas, BS. Tank J probably due to the fact of no production or very little. Yeah, Lucid cut guidance. So they were expecting, and they had said this multiple times throughout the last 6 months, that they were expecting 20,000 vehicles in 2022. They came out and said they expect between 12 and 14,000 in 2022. But they also did announce they are building a factory in some region in Saudi Arabia. But, the markets, they didn't care about that. They cut guidance, so they got clapped. That's all that was wrong with Lucid. Like, Lucid beat a lot as far as their revenue. I think the markets projected like 3 million for revenue, and they came in at like 30 million. So they beat the revenue numbers, the actual numbers, by a lot. Terrible guidance. They guided down like 45%. Yeah, he did say 90% owned by retail investors. I wrote that down too. That was interesting. That was a good one. How about Sofi in the last 10 minutes of trading? Hoping earnings might be good. So looking good tomorrow. There we go. Yeah, I personally like Sofi as a long-term investment, especially at these prices. I do. I do like them a lot. Spy speculation. Dude, honestly, it could go either way. Like statistically right now, if we had a red day today, then you'll probably see a green day tomorrow. That's how we are acting right now. Oh shit, what I do is red day, green day, red day, green day. Lucid, yeah, is guiding the company to the ground. Yeah, which that can be a good thing if you guide lower and then do better. Could be a good thing, but Lucid has a high market cap, a high value, high expectation. That's one of the reasons that I like Mullen, because I mean they're just priced like they're going out of business. They have no future expectations. So that could be good. Yeah, and still 504 million shares that traded hands. I actually want to see. Better be green tomorrow. I'm still up like, I don't even know, like 60-70% on it, I think. Something like that. I think it's good. I think it's one of those you buy and you just sit on it until it gets to like $10 and you made a decent amount of money. 15% short interest. You can see the short interest right here. This yellow line has went straight up from 2% when I bought it right here. Estimated short interest of 2.88%. That was what, Friday, February 18th? I don't think I bought it on the 18th though. I think I bought it on the 22nd. And it is ballooned up. Cost to borrow at 9.5%. Utilization at almost 95%. Days to cover 0.32. Volume is wild. Do you think that 90% of AMC owned by retail confirms the existence of synthetics with all institutions that bought in as well? I think that's kind of what Aaron was trying to hint to. Yes. Well, because he said, I mean, the float, is held shares 90% by retail. There is institutional owners of about 33% last time I checked. So the math doesn't add up. I think he was kind of sending a hit and like letting us put 2 and 2 together for that one. Cause that's like when I say don't panic sell, right? It's a recommendation, but it's not a recommendation. You know what I'm saying? Because it's always sound investment practices to not panic sell, but I'm not legally allowed to tell you what to do. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not financial advice, but it's sound advice, if that makes sense. And that is not financial advice as well. Powell is going to tank the markets again. Probably. I mean, he's probably going to say, hey, this Ukraine-Russia situation is going to make CPI a little bit higher, and then we might have to consider a 50 basis point hike, which is 0.5%. If he says that, yeah, you would definitely freak out the markets. They're not expecting that. At the same time, there's a bullish and a bearish case, or a dovish and a hawkish case there, because with Russia, Ukraine, it creates more uncertainties, but it will affect inflation and make inflation look higher. So it's really a coin flip, that you could go with any one case you want. But, yeah. 90% of AMC doesn't include ETFs, at least that's what I gathered from the earnings call. Yeah, that's basically what he said. Is we own 90%. Yeah. So how many synthetics? That's the question. That is the question. Yeah, math does not add up. Good things come to people who hodl. Yes, that's true. There's the guy from he had made videos and put it on YouTube about Bitcoin at $100, like freaking out kind of. And he made some videos recently, and I guess he still holds it. They bought the thing at $100 a coin. There's a lot of power in buying and holding something. Inflation is 50%. Take the markets, baby, so I can buy it all. That's how I feel. How much transparency will come March 3rd? There's nothing that actually goes into effect March 3rd. I made a whole video about it. I do highly recommend people watch it if they have not already. It's right here. The MOAS begins March 3rd, true or false. And I go over the rules that are basically being thrown out there. And there's nothing that comes due March 3rd. There's nothing that happens March 3rd. It's nothing, basically. Like, I don't even know where March 3rd came from besides people talking about it, which in and of itself can cause a move to the upside, but nothing, really comes out March 3rd. As far as the SEC and all that is concerned, maybe with the DTCC or something else, but the SEC, nothing comes March 3rd. We have the transparency rules that are up for comments until April 26th, as well as April 20th. So there's two rules there that are still up for comments for about another month or so. Month and 2 months, month and a half, give or take. Yeah, but there was a lot of talk about March 3rd. So, I think there will be a bullish reaction because people are going to be buying the stock, but nothing really solid, comes out. Mullen is a squeeze play for sure. It's 15% short interest. I bought it because it has such a low market cap. I bought it at a $21 million market cap. It's probably sitting at about $35 to $45 million market cap now. But for an EV company that starts delivering vehicles second quarter 2022, that, doesn't have that much debt, that owns their factory outright, it seemed like a no-brainer unless it was a big pump and dump scheme. But they have been featured in Car Buzz. They've been featured in a lot of the same magazines and like reviewing platforms for vehicles that Lucid, other EV vehicle makers have been featured in. Like Mullen Automotive, their vehicle was not quite rated as good as a Tesla Plaid S. Is that what it is? I don't even keep up to date with that. But the Plaid, they were in the middle of the Plaid and the Mach-E. So the Mullen Automotive actually scored better than the Mach-E by Ford, the Mustang Mach-E. So, it's one of those. I spent like $200. I'm up like 350, 400. I was up 500, but for $20 million market cap, I'll buy and just hold the stock for a while. I have no pressures to buy or sell it, at this point. Squeeze play 2. I hear a day. I automatically don't believe it most will happen when you're not expecting it. I believe that too. Like the way that I look at it is we need to see the markets coming down. You need to see shorts forced to cover. That's the key. If shorts are not forced to cover, if they literally don't have the brokerage like, hey, we need money or we're going to close you out of your position at 2 p.m., you're not going to see the most. You have to see that happen. And the only way that happens is if the markets fall, there's a credit crisis. Like, imagine if the American stock market was based in Russia and AMC had popped 25%. You would see shorts like freaking out. You'd see shorts covering. Banks would be like, hey, we need our money because you're a default risk, and we have to cover on that because we're not going to take that L, basically. That float will cause a squeeze anytime soon. I personally think, and this is not liked at all, but I personally think like summertime, right? I think that's when you're going to get the growth concerns really starting to hit home. I think that's when you're going to see the Fed already decently into its tightening cycle, which, keep in mind, the markets, they don't historically crash when the rate hikes start, but they crash when they start to drag the economy down. So like midway to end stage through a hiking cycle is when you see the markets falling and come down in a substantial way. It's not that first one. It's not the second one. It's not the third one. It's like the 6th, 7th, 8th one that brings the markets down. And that's really like end of summertime. And I think that's when you're also going to get growth concerns, right? You're going to see people freaking out like, hey, we had all this stimulus last year. Now we're not seeing that. Apple, instead of reporting $100 billion quarters, they're reporting $75 billion quarters. How do we value these companies? What's their trajectory look like going into the future? That's when you see people freak out. And my opinion, you see the margins start to compound and really put a lot of pressure on people. Popcorn at all AMC. Yeah, the popcorn will be interesting. AMC needs to drop to between 5 and 8 for shorts to cover. Yeah, and I pretty much agree with that, Johnny Munoz. Yeah, Munoz. And it's something you will not get a lot of kudos for. It's something you will see a lot of hate for. But that's genuinely the truth. And a lot of people don't realize, like, think back to history, right? Like this war in Ukraine, right? For a dramatic example, war, Ukraine, Russia. What is this familiar of? Well, Hitler in 1938, when he invaded Poland and then invaded other countries because of his safety concerns and ultimately had his own interior motives. That's why you're hearing a lot of people saying, hey, he's not going to stop at Ukraine. He's going to go for other countries. Same thing when it comes down to the markets as well, right? Think back to history. Volkswagen, it had nothing to do, the whole squeeze of Volkswagen had nothing to do with the price of the stock. Volkswagen did not go up heading into a short squeeze. It did not. It actually dropped about 40 to 60% of its value, give or take. Don't remember the number, but in between that range, roughly 50%. And then you've seen the shorts cover because of a catalyst and because the markets were at the bottom in 2008. specifically October 28th in 2008, virtually the bottom of the markets, and people did not have money to put up as extra collateral for those short positions, because it's the same way as if you sell a put. If you go and sell a $20 put on AMC, that means you agree to buy 100 shares at $20 per share, right? So you have to put up $2,000 to do that. You collect a premium, and if the price of the stock goes up, you keep that $200, you keep your $2,000 collateral. If you short a stock, the market makers, whoever lend you the stock, whoever it is, they want to make sure they will get repaid. That's why you can't get a home loan on a fucking burnt down ghetto house, because they'll say, hey, there's nothing protecting our money. We're probably not going to get paid back. If you stop missing your payments, we lost everything. That don't fly in financial universe, right? That don't fly in the markets. That don't fly in banking. That don't fly anywhere. So there's a lot of collateral there. So at the same time, when you have a short position, portfolio's going down, that short position starts to go against you, and some of your smaller shorts start to cover, even if you're a mid-level or a large level liquidity player, right? Something like a Citadel is a lot different than a Melvin Capital right now, right? So if the Melvin Capitals of this squeeze start to cover, drive up the share price, then your mid and large cap guys like your Citadel are like, hey, you know, we're kind of getting clapped in our portfolios. Markets are coming down. We're losing on this end. We have this collateral for this short position. Hey, let's take that collateral, cover on the short position, keep the difference. And obviously they would hope to not lose their collateral and get out of this trade before it gets out of hand. That's the concept here. And it has nothing to do with the price of AMC. It only has to do with the markets coming down, money drying up, then a catalyst for AMC. In that order. This guy's hat collection is bananas. Just wait, buddy. We got more. We got a lot more. We got a lot more. These stocks tank again tomorrow. Easy bounce play. Yeah, restricting the air travel over the U.S. That's an interesting move. Hopefully, we're just in another Cold War. We stay the hell out of it. You know, America, Russia, we don't need to fight each other. We got nothing to prove. You know, we know the deal. We know the business. You know, we just stay out of it. We'll be good, but hopefully that's the case. AMC short positions at $2 have been closed. Well, if you think about it like a short seller, probably it would have made sense to cover on a short position you had at $2 a while ago, when you realized, hey, this stock probably never coming back down to $2. Might as well cover at 10. Right? That's what I would imagine a smart hedge fund would have done. Sure, you lost 4x your money, but you've lived to fight another day. If they have not, then that's wild for one. But they would have had to put a lot of money up along the way, and they would be in a lot of pain right now. But hard to say. Maybe 50-50. Look at the 1348 Discord. You'll find all sorts of plays tomorrow. Issue short position at $2. Yeah, the 1348, I mean, it's weird. It works, and I've personally done it before to try it out a couple times, and it works. But if something comes up, like fucking Russia invades Ukraine and the markets drop dramatically, it doesn't matter. So during this volatile market, it's a lot different to use different strategies, because the only thing the markets care about are the headlines and the algorithms. They scan the headlines and then they react whichever way they need to. But I do like the strategy, that's for sure. Member for 5 months. Let's effing go, baby. Yeah, showing up and supporting. Let's go. Appreciate you. Let's go. I made so much money on the 1348, but you have to watch the 200-day exponential moving average. Yeah. Agree. The market is a transfer of money, the impatient to the patient. Warren Buffett. Yeah, that's one of my favorite quotes of all time, if not my favorite. It says the stock market is simply a tool used to transfer money from the impatient to the patient. Yeah. I like that one a lot. You know, Warren Buffett says if you only had 10 investment decisions you could ever make, you'd become insanely rich. Biden has taken so much money from the Ukrainian people. How so? Enlighten us. But Matt Donnelly, it's been a while since I did the 1348 in this market. How has it been during the days we're down like 2 or 3%? Has it been good? How much is the price of the Discord? You said a hefty monthly price. How much is it? Jesus. ALZN. Yeah, just listen to Super Show and y'all make like 100% in like a week. Don't worry. Oh shit. I know, to start a vlog after the MOS. That would be good. I would watch. Oh, Jesus. Short interest of 0.81%. What Biden said, the poor people are just as bright and talented as the white kids. Do you think it would help? I mean, yeah. I guess. It is still good. Don't pay the 70, just listen to how it's done. I feel that. $13.48 is, if you guys are unfamiliar. Let's go ahead and 13. I don't know why it does this to me, but basically like that. So it's really okay. I'll just do this on a stock that I don't have a fucking crazy chart on. Let's do BP. Shit. Yeah, so you got your essentially, yeah, you got your 13-day blue line. Once it crosses above the 48, which is the orange line, then you make a trade on it and you should do well. Which blue line crosses above the 48, that would have been like buying a call or an option right here on BP. It would have ran up. Same thing right here. Boom, option, run up. Yeah, it's that simple. No, like you said, you can use the 200-day, and that's going to be like your support levels, right? You can see that from right here. Like a lot of support, support. Probably going to get more support right there again. Yeah, that's a good strategy, but it's not foolproof. Yeah, exactly. When you're in a very volatile market like this, when a headline can change things, you have to play it a certain way. Like with this strategy, you're kind of how do I say this? Like when you see the crossover happen, you're going to be a couple days late. So you more or less want to act off of sentiment that you see what you think is going to happen if the price of the stock will continue to make the move that you think, right? Like if you're actively watching this on a daily basis, by the time you actually see the crossover happen, like right here, the price of the stock might be like up here, right? Because there's always going to be that delay unless you're just watching it 24/7, like every single day. So the best trades I've gotten is just to, buy it when you see that divergence happening, like right here. Like once you started to see it, coming up in this range and the 48 moving down, that's when I would have tried to get the trade, because in options, momentum is key, right? And this whole time frame was, again, from the peak October 20th, September 10th was when the crossover really happened. September 15th. So that was over a month. So you want to make sure you get more time on them too. But I like it for the most part. But yeah, not foolproof, but good. No, just the 13 crossing above the 48. And then like kind of same thing for the downside. If the 13 goes under the 48, like right here, would have probably been time to get out of a position, But the 200-day, to me, I like it in general throughout any trading strategy as just a level of support, Like once you actually break above it, then you want to maintain above, then you want to stay above it. And you can see all the support you've gotten through there. Clown show. Well, we are here to make money. If you don't like to make money or you're bad at it, this is not your show, and it might be a clown show for you, brother. But I hope you do find your peace, and I hope you make money and provide to your family. That's that. Thank you, and have a nice day. Long-term gains coming up on the 10th, but I'm in no hurry to sell. There you go. If you know the strategy, you can do it for yourself for free. Yeah, exactly. And I think this chart is a pretty good representation of the strategy. But, I've never really hit huge gainers off of it because you have to go out, like a month to see it play out. A month, if you want to be really safe, go out 2 or 3 months, and you should do well with it. I'm like the guy that likes to trade a couple contracts, make some free, and go for big gainers. Little bit different, but I like it. Like I like to go for like the Facebook puts that are like $60, or my trade was $50 into 5,000. That's what I like. You're not gonna get that quite on this strategy, but if you're consistent with it, then you'll do well. That's for sure. Biden promises to inflict pain on Putin in State of the Union address overshadowed by Ukraine. Yeah, we're going to inflict pain on all you bitches. I'm just playing. The citizens don't even want it. It's just Putin. That's it. It's just Putin. I mean, banks are yeah, they're under their 200-day moving average. So that's not a good scenario. But banks are getting clapped right now because some banks have come out, like Citigroup, and said they had $10 billion of exposure to Russia. So they lost half of that, at least $5 billion. And investors are kind of pricing that in for other banks as well. Not all banks have come out and gave their stance on the scenario, on that situation, but investors, they're pricing in the basically, what's going on. But they have broken under the 200-day, so very interesting. Facebook was an earnings play you strangled. Probably. Well, with earnings trades, because they can be so explosive, and this was before we had extreme volatility every day, but it works the same way right now. Like when you can confirm using moving averages, using technical levels of support, resistance, nothing crazy, honestly. It's not even a crazy, I mean, the 1348, that's not a crazy strategy. You're not looking at the fucking, measurements of candles. You're not doing any of that. But basically what I did was say, hey, Facebook, they were showing a lot of weakness earlier in the day. They were below all of their moving averages. They had really no support down to, I believe Facebook was like 320. They had no support down to like 300, so they had room to come down. Sentiment wasn't looking so good for the markets. And I'm like, hey, I bought 5 or 10 contracts. I got like 50%. I sold out half and kept half and let them ride, and then boom, that was 400 into 15,000. That's how I'd like to do that. But when it's obvious, like Facebook was a clear trade, and people in the trading community, they hit it too. So I was very happy about that. I think couple people sent screenshots too. I'm like, that's what's up. Like that cost, that one trade, right? He had spent $60 on it, turned into 3,000. So that's $2,940 profit divided by 20. That trade alone paid for the trading community's cost for 147 months divided by 12. What is that? 12 years. That one trade paid for that cost for 12 years for a couple people in there. So pretty incredible. We are holding apes 90%. Yeah. That's going to make people want to hold, even when I was getting a little worried. I thought people were selling, but it's all fake. Yeah, no. People at this point, I said this probably back here, that people that wanted to sell, that needed to sell, have probably already sold. And you've seen a lot of support around this $15 price. Like it's so basic, but don't underestimate the basic nature of it. There's a lot of support around $15. Like, you're going to have to see a big catalyst. So would I buy puts on AMC under 15? No. Would I buy puts in general? No. But it's good to know these things, that you got a lot of support at 15, unless we see a market full-on meltdown, full mass liquidation like March 2020. You're getting gapped down on the market, 7% halt, 13% halt, 20% closed down. You're not going to fall significantly under to even make money shorting the stock or buying puts on it. That's why I'm really flabbergasted, for, lack of a better word, that people are still like have short positions on AMC. Like, it doesn't take a genius to know what I'm saying, AMC and GME we hold. We're looking for a short squeeze. Yeah. If Putin was smart, he would buy billions of RSX and then apologize and pull out. He and his company make trillions overnight. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Putin is like financially smart. I think he's more like just takes gold. That's it, pretty much. Yeah, this thing is clapped. Like, nobody wants to own Russia, anything. But this could make a good trade for a bounce back up at the same time. But then again, who wants to own Russian shit right now? 17,000 into 70,000 over 9 months at the beginning of the pandemic, and that's how I have over 9K shares of AMC. There you go. See? TMI and short the VIX. A couple months ago, they said Uber crossed the 48 to buy calls, while causing that Uber drop 15 cents right after 20 cents seconds after buying. Yeah, it's not going to be all foolproof. That's why, I've been trading options for a while. So, the biggest thing about options is knowing time value and what will happen with a certain security, right? So, there's a big difference between AMC buying a call that is a month out comparatively to buying a call for Walmart that is a month out. They move differently, they decay differently, they have different risk to reward ratios. Even if they both did the 1348, both of them, you can only play them certain ways. Like AMC, you could go further out because the stock can be more explosive. Walmart, you don't want to go far out the money, or you need a quick flip, like within a day or 2-3 day period, or you're going to lose to time decay because the stock doesn't move that much. So all stocks are different, and really the best way to trade options is just learning how to value them under different circumstances. So those strategies are good, but those should be like if you're Powell, you have like different things you could do, right? Like you can raise interest rates, you can do a radical shit like Russia's doing, bar countries from trading your currency, block shit. You can do a bunch of stuff. It's tools in the tool belt. Like I'm sure you guys have heard, Powell talk about in the past. You want to have those tools in your tool belt, but everything trades differently, if that makes sense. And there's different ways to value things. I think we wake up to $20 per share. It is possible. It is very possible. That's why they don't say buy or sell. It's just a basic crossover. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes I do that too. Sometimes I'll call out a trade. It'll get bunked. It'll get clapped. Then other times I'll call it a trade. It goes from 50 to 3,000, or like Snapchat from, what was it, like 80 to 800, or Ford 200%. Multiple other trades. Just an AMC trade the other day was like 60% in 30 minutes. Sometimes they do just go bunk. That's where the sentiment plays a huge role in things that moving averages, things like that, can't really accommodate for. Like if we bar Russian oil, like if that actually goes through Congress, like the Democrats have proposed, like oil's gonna rip no matter how bearish it looks, because the supply will be constricted. So I think a lot of those strategies work a lot better in times of less volatility, when there's not as much that can go against you. Like when you have a stock that has good earnings, that's doing good, fundamentals are great, things are pretty chill, you can somewhat count on that stock to act a certain way, but not when the markets are doing wonky, weird shit all the time. Like historic days. We are seeing the most historic days we have ever seen in the markets, being down almost 5% on the NASDAQ right here, and then closing positive 0.42% on the S&P. We were almost down 5% on the NASDAQ this day. That's wild. You've never seen that before. Even back here, we hit 410, closed up 1.5%. This was a 6.5% round move. We've never seen that before. That's a wild candle. Like, that'll stick out for a long, like, forever, really. Like, you can spot that thing from a mile away. But I like the strategies, but knowing how to value things with different time and the way they move is a little bit different, I think. Personally, we are retail and the institutions do some damage. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not in the Discord, so I don't know what their time frames are, but from I've heard the strategy, I've done it, I've experimented with it, I've experimented with a lot of different moving averages, and when you're playing a strategy just off of moving averages, you want to get some time on it. You don't want to go with like a weekly or even a next week. You want to get a month, 2-3 months. For a while there, all I did was buy long-term, like long-term leaps, puts. That's what I would do. I would get my initial investment back, sit on the profits, and be all fine. I did that with AMD and made, quite a bit of money. But those, you kind of got to hold them for a while. AMC going to go up or what? I have 35 shares and I'm down. I think earnings were good. I think it was so late when the report came out that you really didn't see that extra attention on it. Like imagine you're looking at your phone or your computer and earnings, you think they come out at 4 p.m. So you're watching for it. Nothing happens. You're not going to sit there and wait to trade the stock for an hour and then ultimately, and then they inevitably came out, right? So, I don't think there was as much attention as what you normally would have seen. So I think that did play a role, but I think it will be bullish. Futures are up about 0.20% on the NASDAQ, 0.22% on the Dow, and 0.15% on the S&P. You guys think it's best for me to learn to trade calls and options with a 1348 with paper trading first till I feel confident? 100%. Paper trading, 100%. But the only negative I can pull out of paper trading, is you don't get the emotional experience with options, right? You could put $100,000 on some calls or puts in paper trading and you're not going to freak out about losing your money. But if you do that with your actual money, you're going to trade things a lot differently. You're not going to sit there and go down 50% and then up 200%. You're going to freak out before that. You're going to sell out. Nothing's guaranteed. You're just going to freak out. And so the way that I like to trade things ultimately is trading cheap contracts once you understand how things are priced. So I think paper trading is really good for that, to understand how things get priced, how they decay, how they can gain value, there's so many different things I could say with that because all stocks are different. Something like AMC has a lot more attention, a lot more activity on the option chain, so it'll move a lot different than something like I said, like a Walmart or even something like a Tesla that is more expensive. And if you want to only spend $100 or $200, you need to see a big move to go up 50, 100% in a contract. Whereas if you see a big move in AMC, like a 15, 20% day, you might see a 200% move in that contract or a 300%. It's just different. But I think paper trading is definitely the way to go. Definitely. Was positive EBITDA. Yeah, the positive EBITDA was really good. Yeah. But yeah, just be careful because, like I said, like paper trading, it's good, but it's not going to give you that emotional experience. And that's the biggest thing. I know you've heard that before. Other people have heard that before if they trade often. The biggest thing about trading is emotions. Not freaking out or knowing when to freak out and get out, things like that. Percent hours must be on for the 1348. Also pay attention to the daily trend versus 20 stop loss. Yeah. Here's still an AMC. Oh, yeah. Most certainly. Yeah, but like I was saying, the way that I like to trade is going off of sentiment, basic support resistance, moving averages. I'll incorporate a lot of different strategies. But be quick to get my initial investment back. Hold things, especially during this volatile time. It's different in a normal market than it is right now. But taking a small amount to a large amount, you can lose a lot before you actually lose a lot of money. Like with a Facebook trade, right? $50 into 3,000 or 60 into 3,000. You can trade a lot of small positions and lose a lot before you actually start to fuck up your portfolio. Or like other trades I've had, like Redfin, $15 into 3,000. That was probably the best percentage gainer I've ever had. I had two of those, $30 into $6,000. Like you could play at $30 a lot before you lose your portfolio. You just got to be careful. Don't go all in on options. Play them small. Consistency, will do you very well. That's for sure. What's going on here? What's happening at dawn? Well, we do have earnings that were kind of a cuckening. We just kind of got bogged out. So I think you're going to see that reaction tomorrow. Futures are green. They could change. I mean, depending what Putin says when he wakes up here probably shortly, you could get another headline and mess things up a little bit. But earnings were good. We ride at dawn. It's more like a saying than anything else. It's not like the MOAS is happening tomorrow. But, But yeah. So, thank you guys for tuning in. Shout out to the mods, Big Blue CNC, Mike White, Official BNA, Super Show, Tim, all you guys, Real Rugged DIY. Thank you guys for tuning in. We are live every day besides Friday night and Saturday night to go over everything that you need to know for the next day. Talk trading strategies, all of that good stuff. So hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, get yourself some free stock as well. And if you guys want to join the trading community, link down below in the description or in the last video in the pinned comment. So again,